So that brings me on to the third thing we were going to talk about. So far we've talked about gratitude, so starting from that basic piece. Then we talked about actually resilience, which, to be fair, we said resilience, but we talked about 6 behaviours within that. And now we're going to talk about your general mindset, and we've broken this into fixed mindset versus growth mindset, or the other way around, growth versus fixed. So as I said, this is like a wide known concept. If you looked it up online, you'll find plenty of information on it. But I'm going to just explain to you on here what's the difference between having a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And again, what do you need to do to start to change? Because people with a growth mindset are the ones who you might find, oh, everything always happens for them easily. They always find a way out of things. Oh, they always land on their feet.
Yeah, I hate people like that.
So that's just generally because we've already talked about the importance of mindset. It impacts your mind, your mood, your behaviors, your actions, and therefore your situation. So it's not magic. It's science. So the both of you have heard of fixed mindset versus growth. What's your understanding of it?
Initially, you can some first.
Well, I think the fixed mindset basically is where that's it. There's only one way and one way only.
Yeah.
Can't see outside that box.
Absolutely.
Growth mindset, you can see outside the box.
Yeah.
There are many avenues to a way to do something. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, I would agree. Perhaps expand on a growth mindset, which is where you're willing and capable and open to change, I guess.
Yes.
But it would be stuff that perhaps your principles and values don't change, but perhaps your openness to other things change as well.
Adaptability, you're adaptable. More adaptable.
Great word, you're adaptable. Yeah, spot on.
So mindset we've talked about is a general outlook in the way you see things. The way you get that general outlook is through various behaviours, which we've talked about quite a few here today, so you've got lots of work you could be doing. So generally, a fixed mindset, a statement is, failure is the limit of my abilities. So if I fail at something, I can't do that. Okay. So failure is the limit of my abilities. So I take piano lessons and I'm not getting anywhere with my piano lessons. Still haven't been able to play one song and I've been doing it for X amount of time. Ergo, I can't play the piano. That's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset would be, failure is an opportunity to grow. I've been playing the piano for X amount of time. I still can't do a song. It's been this much time. What do I need to do differently to be able to do that? What do I need? Do I need more intensive lessons? Do I need a different technique for learning? What do I need? That's one of the biggest differences. So failure doesn't mean I can't do it. To a growth mindset, failure means, what can I do differently? How can I grow? This is an opportunity for me to learn something differently and to grow. As Thomas Edison had said, I've forgotten how many times he tried to.
It was about 1,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was a case of, I didn't fail that many times. I learned that many ways to not create a light bulb. Yeah, absolutely. So it's that difference. And
But it's just changing words, isn't it?
It is.
It is. And
but
using
power,
the right vocabulary.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's very important with children.
Yes.
Using the right vocabulary with them.
And the words, we don't realise in our language the amount of words we use that are debilitating.
And the
Even to
impact it
ourselves.
has. Yeah.
And every word you use, you are sending the message to yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read out some statements of fixed versus growth, so that you can hear the difference. And do you know, it'd be interesting for you to think about, do I use that language in my life? And therefore, where do I need to change? Because it starts there. So let's read some statements for fixed mindset. So I'm either good at it or I'm not. Okay, so I'm either good at this or I'm not good at that. Do you say that? Okay, so you can start marking yourself if you want at home. So do you say those statements? Do you tend to say, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at this, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at this? That's fixed mindset, because you've decided you are not good at something, and there's no such thing. It's just a case of some things you need a different way of learning or a different tactic, and other things you've learned in different ways. That's it. Whereas a growth mindset would say, I can learn to do anything I want. I can learn to do anything I want. Again, it's just how you learn and what works with you. We read stories and hear things about such and such at such an age learned this skill or does this, and we're like, oh wow, like they're some kind of super person. They just have a growth mindset, you know? Okay, fixed mindset. My abilities are unchanging. These are my abilities, this is my skill set, that's it.
Can't do any more.
That's it. This is the limit of my skills. Point is, they have limits. Whereas growth mindset would be, challenges help me grow. Now, this is really important. We talked about it for resilience as well. Do you see challenges and problems and downs in life as a, what can I learn from this? When I come out the other end, whatever that looks like, what will I have taken away from it? What will I learn from this? That is really key to having that resilience and that positive outlook. Again, I'm not saying don't call a spade a spade. I'm not saying it's not okay to say, oh my God, this situation is crap. It's really getting me down. But it's about, okay, but what can I learn from this? When I come out the other end, and I will come out the other end, what will I have learned? Fixed mindset. I don't like to be challenged. Okay, so fixed mindset people will generally not like to be challenged. So again, problems, situations, change, challenges, these are all kind of inconveniences. I don't like them. Whereas somebody with a growth mindset is again a case of they see challenges as an opportunity to grow, to learn something new, to do something different. Let me pick out a few others that stand out to me. Okay, fixed mindset. When I get frustrated, I give up. Okay, so if I get frustrated,
I only do that when I'm trying to fix furniture.
Yes,
when I'm
IKEA wardrobes.
When I'm trying to put furniture together and I can't do it, that's it.
and then you come back to it, don't you?
No, says the voice it.
No.
I'll
It's the
allow
only
it.
time I have a fixed mindset.
So yeah, so basically when you get frustrated, which is going to happen when you're challenged, when you're in a challenging situation or you're challenged, you are going to get frustrated. It's a natural reaction. Frustration occurs when something is not working for you, you're not able to do something, but you don't see how you can do it. Now, people with a growth mindset would take feedback. So feedback is constructive. So they'd say, okay, what am I not doing well? Why is this not working? And they'd learn from it. I'm not saying you.
No, the manual's not holding it the right way.
They'd learn from it and they'd give it another go. Or not. Whereas fixed mindset, they kind of go, do you know what? Not for me.
Yeah.
Boys,
Putting furniture together is not for me.
people with a fixed mindset also find feedback and any kind of criticism, they take it quite personally. And do you know what, I absolutely do though, however, agree. A lot of people don't know how to give feedback. I mean, it's a skill to give feedback. It's also a skill on how you receive feedback as well. So it's something you have to learn to do. Nonetheless, if you take it personally, you're never going to learn and grow from it. Whereas again, people with a growth mindset would see it as okay, what can I learn from it? You know, I
How can I
appreciate it.
change? Yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, fixed mindset, I stick to what I know. I know this, I'm master of this is my world, I stick to it. Whereas growth mindset is all about, I like to try new things. Because I'm okay not being a master at it, I'll learn.
Yeah.
So actually, I would say fixed mindset, there's a bit of fear there sometimes. Whereas growth mindset, I find these people actually, they flip fear on its head and use it actually more as, oh, this is exciting. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's sort of the same kind of base emotion, but on the negative front, it's anxiety and fear. On the positive front, it's a bit of excitement.
Yeah.
You know, the only difference is, do I see it negatively or do I see it positively? It's the same base emotion.
Yeah. I think the fixed mindset is a very negative mindset, isn't it? A negative emotion.
Yeah.
It's fear, it's frustration, It's failure.
Yeah.
That's all they
But
see.
the only difference between, like I said, fear and excitement in how you see a situation is how you view it. So let me give you an example what I mean by the base emotion is the same. So if I won't come to you first. So well, I'll come to you next. So Nish, if I were to ask you, have you ever been scared before? Actually scared?
Yeah.
Afraid? Okay. So when you've been afraid, what do you experience in your body?
Butterflies in my tummy,
Okay, so your tummy.
anxiety
Anxiety.
inside.
What happens to your breathing?
Gets a little bit faster.
Yeah, faster, shorter breaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the hands go a bit cold sometimes, sweaty,
Sweaty. Yeah. Sweaty.
clammy, sweaty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Bips, have you ever been really excited for something before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you thinking about a football game?
Yeah.
Did you see that face?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the birth of his child.
That was
That was
scary.
fear.
That was sheer fear.
So, thinking about when you've been excited about something, and I'd just like you to notice how his eyes lit up
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
That's what anchoring can do for you. So, what happens in your body when you're experiencing the
I
excitement?
know where you're going with this. It's exactly the same as what Nishabella was saying.
It's exactly the
Clammy
same.
hands, butterflies in stomach, hyperventilating, almost shallow breaths.
Okay.
Exactly the same thing.
The only difference, you
It's
want to
like-
pull away,
Yeah.
you want to go towards. The base emotion is the same because your body does not know the difference. The chemical reaction is the same because what's happening is during that time you're going into a not fight or flight, but that sort of
It's heightened state. of
absolutely.
yeah.
So the only difference in how you perceive the situation is your state of mind. So imagine if the next time something that makes you nervous, let's say you don't like public speaking. You don't like speaking in public, and I know there's a lot of things that you need to think about that. But rather than saying to yourself and thinking, I hate public speaking, because that's what somebody who wouldn't like it would say. I don't like public speaking, I hate public speaking, I'm really nervous about it. You're feeding yourself those emotions again. So you're going to experience all of that, but in a negative way, and you're going to want to pull away from it. Which actually in turn means you'll probably stumble more and make mistakes, and you will then kind of cement your self-belief saying, see, I knew I wasn't good at public speaking. Whereas actually, if you allow yourself to get excited about it, saying, I'm nervous about public speaking, but I'm excited. I'm excited, nervous, because I just need to do this. I'm going to practice the bits that I'm not sure about, but it's going to be good. You keep telling yourself that, you're going to go towards it. You're going to have more confidence, and you're probably going to do a really good job of it, and therefore actually get rid of this and shift that belief into going, I'm actually all right public speaking. So how you view a situation can actually affect how you do in the situation. I can think I really got you both thinking today.
I am. What I'm thinking about though is this is quite binary in terms of the mindset models you've got there in terms of fixed and what's that called? Growth. I think it's okay to have a hybrid of the two as well. It's not just one or the other. I'll give you an example. You read out some of the statements for fixed mindset, and interestingly enough, as you were reading them out, I actually found myself more in the fixed mindset category rather than mixed mindset category. But I wouldn't suggest that I'm not adaptable, like we discussed about 5-10 minutes ago.
Statements?
Pretty much all of them. And again, I think it's situational. So, give you an example. I think one of the first statements you read out was about learning new things. You were talking about learning the piano, for example. Right? It got me thinking about school. I hated art. I can't draw for life. Got me thinking about French. You're amazing with languages, okay? You can go and learn Turkish, you can go and learn Spanish. I'm terrible with languages. I can't learn Hindi. I can't learn German. I can't learn French. It is a mindset, and it's a blank there. Same goes with musical instruments. I would love to play the piano. I haven't got the bloody coordination.
Can I offer you a thought though? Do you see a language you're like, I can't
I know.
learn?
There was a lot of parts
But this
there.
is why I'm purposefully using
But
it, because
it's
that's
not
what I've always.
impossible, is it?
But
What
this
you
is it.
mean is, I find it harder.
Oh, it's
I
extremely
find
difficult.
languages harder to learn, which means you can learn it, but you'd have to do something different. Maybe it's easier for me, but you'd have to do something different. It
But I
doesn't mean you
think-
can't learn it.
But the point I'm kind of trying to make to you is there are some things that I kind of know where my skill set and abilities are at their boundary. Flip it the other way around. Flip it to something medically related, science related. Even though science and physics and chemistry contain a bucket load of maths, I can pick that up like that. So I think you've got also an innate set of boundaries within yourself about some of these things as well. What else do you have on your fixed mindset?
When I'm frustrated,
okay.
I give up. I don't agree.
Okay, so the one that I'm actually going to choose here, actually, that got me thinking the most, is feedback and criticism are personal. I think that's an ego thing as well. I think there are other characteristics that people have that don't just necessarily mean you're in a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. I think ego comes into this.
But also how it's
is-
delivered.
Well, this is what I was
And
just
also
about.
how
This
it's
is what
delivered,
Debbie
what
said
you
earlier on,
said.
but you're absolutely spot on there as well, in the sense of some of that can be because of ego as well. I mean,
Who you're getting that feedback
well,
from.
this is exactly what I'm about to say, because that makes me think about the situation I had 6-7 years ago, where I had to have a difficult business conversation with somebody who I trusted, and during that conversation he actually destroyed and shattered that trust I had in him, and actually he got quite personal, and that set me back quite a lot. So I think, again, it's situational as well, in that you may have gone through experiences where it makes you think you can't do something, but you actually can.
Yeah.
But you have to shatter as well that wall of whatever's holding you back. It's like, for example, when we had our little one, and you were like, you know what, I want a nice, beautiful mural on the wall. I'm not going to go and buy a stencil. I'm going to go and do it myself. And it took a lot for you to turn around and say, well, from I can't do it to actually, you know, bugger it, I can, and I will, and you did. It's all that little stuff as well. And I think you may actually find yourself putting, I guess what I'm trying to say is, everyone knows their own limits, but I guess those are arbitrary limits that we put up ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can
it's
actually
us.
change it. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's whether you want to or not. So what you were saying about
So that's the
science,
fixed mindset and the growth mindset.
It is.
When you put that barrier there,
Yeah,
and you're not willing
that's
to-
fixed.
yeah, that's fixed.
yeah, absolutely.
So what you were saying about science versus languages, so all you need to do is just, if you wanted to be more growth mindset, you don't have to.
Want is an important word here.
Yes,
Will and
absolutely.
want are important. Yeah.
So,
Do I want to learn Hindi? No.
and that's fine. So the growth mindset would be, not I can't, I can, but it would be a bit more difficult for me. For me, these things come naturally. Languages for me, I'm not that artistic, I don't feel I'm naturally creative, so I can, but it would be a bit more difficult for me.
Yeah.
That's all it takes to shift from fixed to growth, is instead of I can't, I can, I need to see how. So you get over that can't, because rather than put a blockage there, you remove that. Whether you want to or not, it's a different matter.
This is true. This is true.
Another thing that I'd offer you, another thought, it's not easy to just go out there and start changing everything all at once.
No.
But starting with one little thing, so something that you have told yourself you can't do, one little thing, you do that one thing, there's no stopping you after that. Because that's where I get my attitude from. Everything, I love learning, I love doing something new, I love learning new skills. And each time I've learned something, it gives me that self-belief and confidence. So the next time I face something else, it changes my language, and I don't say I can't, I say I can. I did that, I can do this. So every new skill, new ability you teach yourself and you say I can do this, you accomplish that, you can take on the next thing. How do you think people climb Everest? Do you think they just wake up one day and say, I'm going to climb Everest?
They've got a lot of
If
training
you-
to do and a lot of other peaks to
Absolutely.
count.
If you look at their
before they get to
lives,
the Himalayas.
Spot.
if you look at their lives and look at the kind of people they are, I bet you they've made small accomplishments along the way, small things that they've taught themselves.
Exactly. It's running a marathon. You can't do 24 miles straight up. It's got to
You
start.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
So they will have done things in their life that gave them that confidence to one day say, I'm going to take on Everest next.
Yeah.
It starts somewhere.
Agreed.
It starts
But
somewhere.
I think it's okay to perhaps say that you've got a fixed mindset, but actually listening to the conversation that we're having, it's your own barriers that are actually perhaps preventing you from doing what you need to do. And you can
And like you
through.
said, being quite binary, it's very black and white, isn't there?
Yes.
So there's growth, but
Yeah,
there is a
but
bit
it's
in
not.
between.
There is.
Yes.
That's
There's a
why I
bit
used the
in
word
between.
hybrid earlier as well.
Yeah, hybrid, yeah.
Yes, there is. For me, that's the journey to going on to kind of growth mindset. It's not easy to always have that perspective,
Yeah.
but it's I keep saying this, life's a journey. It's not about an end goal, an end destination. It's about what you're doing along the way. So it's okay to live in that hybrid, but be aware of it.
Yeah.
And just change your language a little bit so you don't debilitate
Yeah.
yourself, essentially. So, any final thoughts while I wrap this up? On what you've learned
There's a
today?
lot,
what
lots
you're
to
taking
take.
away?
Lot
Yeah.
to take in. I think
Oh,
it's been really
that's
interesting.
good.
You did. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Like, I think we can continue from this.
Oh God, yeah. There's so much more we can
Excellent.
talk about. I think for me, the title of this particular conversation was Mindset Go,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a couple of things. There are a couple of take homes which are, if you want to do something, you can absolutely do it, but the barriers that you have are probably yourself. If you're prepared to be adaptable, if you're prepared to ask for help, if you're prepared to perhaps take some steps to take you out of your comfort zone, you could probably achieve what you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other important thing is we were talking about your first section, which is about resilience. If something does knock you back, it's okay to sometimes sit there for a while and think, do you know what, that's really set me back. It's a challenge for me to overcome, but you can actually do it. Everyone absolutely can. And also embrace sometimes that if you're not feeling in a positive mindset, because that's okay as well. It's okay as well. Everybody has those ups and downs in life, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's a nice summary. Thank you.
It's okay.
Ish.
No, I very much agree with Vipul, and I think it's from within you, of how you see and your outlook to life, which then, as you say, we're going to move on to, like, the mental health and things like that. But this has been a good start
Yes,
to this, so thank you for that.
Yes.
You're welcome.
We've got some homework to do.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
these topics. I absolutely love them, how the brain works, and yeah, absolutely love it. So just to kind of summarise what we've talked about here today. So today has been all linked to happiness, but it's been to do with mindset go. So checking your mindset in where you sit. What's your general outlook on life, on your relationships? How do you perceive the world around you? So actually taking check first and thinking, where do you sit? Actually making that conscious decision. Do you want to move up the scale? Do you actually want to have a different mindset? If so, then please watch this. And we've covered on here gratitude. So actually being grateful for the things around you. And we've talked about a few different techniques and things that you could use. If you find different ways of practicing gratitude and you're doing something different, then please comment and let us know. Share with us what you're doing. Also, then we talked about resilience, what it actually means to be resilient, and broke this down into 6 key behaviours. So you can actually rate yourself on each of the behaviours. And again, you can actually practically work on individual behaviours to actually make yourself more resilient. So to deal with those difficult challenges life does throw at us sometimes, and to bounce back to your usual self. That was taken actually also, I'll reference Helen Fury, who's a business psychologist. So that piece of work was also taken a little bit from there as well. And then we also looked at general mindset. So are you more of a growth mindset person? Are you a bit more, is your language more with the fixed mindset, or are you a hybrid?
Yeah.
Which is fine. But all of this, it's not even about you must change. It's just about being aware. Being aware about who you are, how you are, and who and how you want to be. And actually making those conscious choices and doing that. It's a journey, and you're with us on this journey, and we're with you.
Yeah.
So this has been Confidence Talks. The next few sessions, what we'll be covering is we'll be talking about definitely mental health first aid. So we'll be talking about some of those mental health challenges and what they look like, what you can do, what help and support is available out there. And we'll also be talking about managing emotions, as we talked about. So making sure that our emotions don't get the best of us, in which I'll talk a little bit about the neuroscience behind our emotions and how we can actually keep those emotions in check so they don't overtake our decisions and our actions. I am currently doing a coaching course for neuromindfulness, so I will soon be a certified coach. to be able to have those one-to-ones and conversations. I do cram it a lot, don't I?
You do.
For now,
It's your
guys,
growth mindset, that is. That's your growth mindset.
my growth mindset is sometimes on skates. Okay guys, so thank you so much for listening. Please do remember to subscribe below so you don't miss any of our videos. But for now, you have been here with Confidence Talks with Vips,
Hi.
Nish,
Thank you.
and myself, Debbie. Thanks for listening.